So today I'm going to be bringing my geraniums that I overwintered upside down in paper bags. These are geraniums that I've had for this will be my third season, and this will be my second season. I've been, like I said, overwintering them. I just planted them up, gosh, I don't know, maybe like a month ago, and look at how great they're doing. There's only one that I'm concerned about. There's green on it, but not that much green, so I'm probably just gonna pull it out. But the rest of them are doing really great. They've been by this window with the sunshine, and they're leafing out awesomely. I don't know if that's a word, but they're leafing out great. It is technically past our last frost date, so I think we'll be okay, and you never know in Michigan, so I will keep an eye on them. But I'm going to bring these outside, and then I'm going to bring my Mangave outside that I've been overwintering for several years, and just kind of get those acclimated to the season. What do you think, bud? Does that sound like a plan? You love that little tray? He loves sitting in that little tray. It's like his little spot. Yeah, you're a good boy. We're gonna do some work today. I'm gonna work on getting those plants outside on my deck, and then we'll actually go outside and do some gardening. I want to move some plants around that are just really bothering me in the spots that they're at, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna grab them all, bring them upstairs, and take them out the slider to the back deck. My begonias need to be either transplanted or planted, these big ones, and I might even this weekend attempt to do that. I've been burnt before by planting them too early. They always come back and do fine, but I don't know, we'll see. But they do need to be planted, some of them. These little ones are not as crowded, but all right, let's get these upstairs. They look so good. We did a good job, huh, Max? This is the only one right here that I'm not sure about. You want to go back inside, buddy? Sometimes he gets scared out here with all the birds. He likes the birds, but I don't know, there's lots of hawks around here, and I think those freak him out. They freak me out too. All right, now I'm gonna go in here. Don't pay attention to the mess. This is kind of like my office and the place I write songs and stuff. I also have my houseplants in here. I have some Mangave. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, left. So I'm gonna grab those and take those outside. I got the Mangaves out here. They do need to be cleaned up a little bit. And let's see, like that one right there really needs to be cleaned up and transplanted into a different pot. And then this one over here had a pup coming off of it, so I need to transplant that. That one you can see isn't even planted in there. It's still in the nursery container, so I gotta take some time and do that, but I don't want to mess with them too much. I'll for sure clean them, but I don't want to mess with them too much. I'd like them to just kind of get acclimated out here for a couple of days, and then we'll revisit this deck area. But I do want to get out into the garden because what do you think about that, Max? We got a new bird feeder that hangs at a diagonal off of the deck, so that the raccoons and the possums can't get it. And it's been working out really well. There's a couple other things I have to do that have just kind of been bothering me over the last couple of years. I have to transplant a Hosta. What do you think, bud? Don't eat my plant. Well, I'm gonna put my boots on and get my shovel and we'll start gardening. It is early in the morning, kind of before work. I woke up really early this morning and got some things done, caught up on my emails for a couple of hours, and I thought I might come out here and do some things, take a little break, and then get back at it before lunch, and then maybe come back out for lunch. But pretty caught up on a lot of my work, so that's encouraging. Oh, I see I gotta cut some suckers at the end of that tree. So yeah, we're gonna move a couple things, and I find that even though it's not like terribly hot yet, it's not hot at all actually, I just put the sweater on, it's a little chilly. I don't want to move too much stuff if I can help it when it gets really hot, so I'm gonna take advantage of this weather and move a few things. My garden is kind of like a bunch of cities, and in all the different cities there's different suburbs. So we're in the city of the Gully and we're in a suburb of Raccoon Alley. So these 3 Carex, there's 1, 2, and 3, believe it or not, they just don't really do well right here, and that one has always struggled. They don't get much bigger than this, and I've found that the Carex in my yard do a lot better in more sun. So I'm going to dig them up and move them, swing you around really slowly, right up here. It's the same, this is the same Carex, I believe it's Ever Gold. And I've got 3 up here. You can see these 3, they do much better. And I thought, you know, there's 2 down there plus that tiny one. Thought it might look cool to kind of carry that in here. So do 1 there and 1 where that kind of where that rock is. I'll have to move that rock. So let's start on that. I'll get my shovel, I'll be right back. I actually just grabbed my little shovel. Sometimes I like using this when I'm transplanting smaller items because it doesn't make so much of a disturbance in the ground, but just kind of pull the mulch away. You know what I should do? I always am like, oh, I should have done this, and then I never remember to do it, but since I just remembered, I'm going to go do it right now. I'm going to go dig my holes first, that way I can just, it won't be as much of a mess. I can just dig this up and place it in the hole. So let's go dig the hole first. See, I've got there. So I'll put, thinking, oops, these are daffodil right here that will just basically fade away soon. So I think I'll put 1 here. That house says Diana Remembered. So that should, I just planted those last year. Let me see. So maybe I should kind of go over here a little bit. Dig a little hole. Wow, lots of worms in there. And I kind of wanted to do some of this before we mulch. We haven't mulched out here yet. I'm actually still working on the weeds. I just have a few more weeds to get to down there in the south end of the gully in Raccoon Alley. So once I get that taken care of, I'll start putting the mulch down. Yeah, that looks like a nice spot, and then maybe we'll carry it right here, actually where this rock is. We'll move this rock. Boy, I don't know about you guys, but I've had lots of little, I don't know if these are maple, what kind of seedlings these are, like little maple seedlings, I don't know. But they are everywhere in my garden this year. I usually get them, but not as bad as this year. Maybe from all the rain. Alright, we got our hose done. Let's go get the plants. And these do get eaten by the deer every year. but they come back just fine. Alright. Put it in its new home. Perfect. Make it a little deeper in there. There we go. I will come back through and water all these too once I'm done. Yeah, I think that looks good. This one I might, now that I have that in there, I might move this one over a bit. Yeah, right there looks pretty good. And then I'm really excited to get something pretty in here. I don't know, I've been staring at these over the last few years and I'm like, oh, it'll be fine, it'll pop back. Maybe it's just because the deer eat them every year. And now I'm just like, no, I'm done. We're moving it. I'm not dealing with it anymore. But I was thinking about possibly grabbing one or two of my Brunnera down here that are kind of jumbled up in that area and space them out. Or I was thinking about grabbing, I've got some wee Hosta down there. They're kind of in another holding spot. I thought about bringing those up here because that's a different color Hosta and a different texture Hosta. So it might look good. And then just planting like annuals around it, like I usually do, impatiens. We'll take as much dirt as we can, but shake some off so I don't leave a huge hole. Alright. Boy, these got quite the root system on them. I think I'm going to cart up some of this extra soil and bring it back to those holes. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, I will dig this one up just because and just go shove it over in there. Or actually, that might be what was wrong with it. The roots are all like jumbled up. Maybe it was root bound when I planted it and I didn't break it up good enough. Anyway, I think actually I don't need it over there, so I'm gonna put it in a little planter. I've been just like throwing random plants in up there and see what happens. These are just plants I've found in the garden. Just that seeded themselves or whatever. That's a rose. I gotta prune yet, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll keep these in here or not. It's kind of like temporary. I want to move this pot anyway somewhere else. I'll probably plant something really pretty in here, but at least I have a spot for this stuff while, I don't know, while I think about it. I have a lot of like think about it, hold you over, dump bed spots until I find a spot for you. That looks pretty good. Oh, I have 5 in there now, and the line doesn't stop right there. It kind of continues to carry your eye into that section of the bed. So I think that works out pretty good. The next thing I want to move, I'm actually going to have to get my big shovel for, because there's a Hosta up there in that bed, the island bed. I've got 3 of the same Hosta and then one that's not the same as the other 3. A lot of my, here I'll talk at you while I'm going to grab my other shovel, but a lot of my Hosta in my garden I split or they reseed themselves and I end up digging them up where they're at and placing them somewhere. So a lot of times I don't really know what variety it is until it puts on size, and then I can tell. Well, that's what happened up there with those Hosta. And after a couple of years, I noticed one of them wasn't the same. So I need to bite the bullet this year and just dig up one of them, split it. That way I've got a fourth one that matches the three, and we'll put the other little one-off one somewhere else. I'm up here in the island bed. I got my big shovel, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So these two right here are definitely the Blue Angel, and you can tell because they've got the giant blue leaves and they kind of come to a point, almost like, in my imagination, like an angel wing. And then these two over here, this one is a Blue Angel, and then that one is probably Halcyon Hosta. So I'm going to dig up that Halcyon. I'm going to, I think, split that Blue Angel because that one looks the biggest of all of them out here. And we'll put the split in that spot. Although I might have an extra Blue Angel down in my gully, and then I won't have to split one. Let me go look really quick. Yeah, I was thinking I had a Blue Angel back there because, sorry guys, this is kind of like what happens to me. It's like a backwards puzzle when I get out here, but I'm gonna build a bridge right here. I wanna hopefully try it this weekend because we got some pallets from the mulch. But anyway, I wanna build a bridge right here and make a path that kind of goes in here, so I'll have to move some hosta, and I might have to move some things around here. But I've got 3 Blue Angels right here, and I really only need like 1. So maybe I'll just dig that one up and put it up there. That'll be a lot easier because I want to rework this area and try to make a path that connects like right there somehow. There's another suburb of my city here in the gully. It's called Chipmunk Crossing. So we're gonna be digging up this Blue Angel Hosta and moving it up to the... I just went up and dug up this Halcyon Hosta. This could be split in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 plants. See that? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'm just gonna set it here for now. We'll find a spot for it. I'm not gonna put it in this hole because, like I said, I'm gonna be working in this area anyway. This whole area right here has kind of just been like another holding ground for things until I figure out what I want to do with it. We'll get this up there. I did notice when I just dug out that Halcyon house up there, the roots of the birch tree were everywhere. I do find that difficult now that those 2 birch trees have really grown in. It is sometimes hard to get plants in the ground up there, but we'll do the best we can. It might just have to be a shallow grave for the roots, and we'll see what happens. Hosta are pretty resilient, especially in my garden, as you can see. Wait, I probably should prune up these mountain boxwoods too, because I've never actually pruned those before. I've been wanting to kind of let them put on some size before I get them pruned, but I'd say it's about time. Although they look kind of pretty, kind of wispy like that, but I'm just afraid that the branches will break if I let it go any further. So I'm going to grab this and we'll get it up in the island bed. Probably split this one too, but I want it to look big up there. Alright, let's go. One thing I'm just remembering while I'm out here that I'm gonna do is move this Hakonechloa grass down. Once this and now this Blue Angel Hosta completely leaf out, they get huge. You kind of don't even see that Hakonechloa grass anymore, so I really want to like move it out. I'll probably have to move that rock somewhere else and get this its own little spot where it can be seen and grow like it wants to. So I'm going to do that next. Just move this rock. I don't know. I kind of have them all in a little row over here. Maybe we'll move it here. That way we can kind of separate those two colors a little bit. I don't know. Kind of just the way my brain works. Ooh, we got some little centipedes in there. Okay, we'll see how difficult this is to dig in. There's roots in here from the tree. I don't want to cut too many of them. All the little ones are probably fine, but try to loosen up the soil a little bit and then dig around them. I got them loosened up, so I'll just kind of dig the dirt out from under the roots. This grass doesn't need much to grow. I love this grass so much. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's not too deep. It's kind of a shallow rooted grass. Should be fine. Sure, all the roots are in there. I'll just keep an eye on it. Obviously I'll get some water on it. Should actually do that right now. I might have to do this with the grass that's over there too. We'll take a look at it. But at least now it'll have its own little space. There you go, buddy. Do your thing. Let's take some of this dirt to make sure. And we still have to get mulch out here as well. But yeah, those hostas will just take over this whole spot. There we go. Let's go over here and see. This one I noticed doesn't get covered up as much. It stands out a little bit more. But I think that's because, I don't know, these hostas are maybe separated a little bit more. But I might just try to dig my shovel in that little spot just to see if I can get my shovel in there and get a little bit of a hole. I might move it out too. I'm just gonna check it out and see. So what happened was I was able to dig a really nice hole right here. There were pretty much no roots in this spot to move it to, but this grass is surrounded by, oh, that scared me. It's like a little worm coming down from the tree. This grass is surrounded by big roots, and so there's nowhere to get my shovel in to get it up out of the ground. So I think what I'll do is I'll just, if I find it getting kind of crowded by these two hosta, I'll just take a cutting or a split off some of the stuff I have in the back and just move it up here. That way it's like a bigger area instead of moving this, because that might be actually another reason why these hosta aren't getting as big as they could. They could just be surrounded by a bunch of roots from this birch tree, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine with me, because this Hakonechloa grass, it can get a little nuts if you don't keep an eye on it. I have some in the back that I had to completely, well, I had to dig it out for another reason, but it was getting out of control, and then something happened to it, and I ended up having to dig some of it out and replant it. But I was actually glad that something happened to it, because it was getting out of control. So I don't mind that it's growing within all these birch tree roots, because hopefully maybe that will keep it in control. All right, let's move on to the next thing. right, well, I forgot that it's just a morning break. I was getting a little bit carried away, so I probably should go back in and do some more work before lunch, and then I will come back out for lunch and we'll do some more moving around. I ended up getting really busy once I got back inside after my break, and because of that I didn't really have that big of a lunch break. So anyway, over lunch I just came out here quick on my deck and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna clean up those Mangave now and transplant the ones that need to be transplanted. They should be completely fine. They're probably one of the most hardy plants that I've ever grown, to be honest with you. They are like, kind of just plant them and leave them and they're pretty much fine. So I'll show you what I ended up doing. I got them all in a little clump right here. I ended up transplanting that one, and that one. Then this one right here was the pup that was attached to that one. So once I moved it from that plant, it gave it that one a little bit more room, so I ended up keeping that one in the same pot. I might still move it, I just thought it's fine for now. And then, like I said, this was a pup that came off of that one. I think those are called racing stripes. And then this one was in a little brown pot. That was my smallest one. And then I added a couple of sedum that I've been saving in my raised garden bed. I've been overwintering them for 2 years, so I was like, oh, maybe I could use those. Then this one, I think this is a Navajo Princess. I potted that up in one of those big gray pots. And then this one, I'm blanking on the name, but that one I up potted as well. So I think they'll look really good right here for now. And then my geraniums, I ended up moving them just up close to the house because, oh, it's about 1 o'clock right now, and you can see they've already started to have about probably an hour of shade. So they're in the shade right now. So this will be nice. They'll get some morning sun, and then that will kind of help them acclimate, and then once the hot sun comes, they'll be in the shade, and I'll just make sure they get watered and fertilized properly. And then this over here, I kind of just put my little planter that my brother and his family gave me for my birthday. Disregard the dirty pool water in the background. But I love these colors together. It's like a true bright red with a maroon, and then that pansy is so pretty. Like a lilac pansy. The verbena is kind of hanging down the back of it, back there, in this cute John Deere pot. Yeah, it's nice to get this cleaned up for now. It's not obviously how I want to keep it the whole season, but I just at least wanted to get the Mangave out and cleaned up and acclimated to the weather, as well as the geraniums. And then as the season goes on, maybe we'll add some more pretty things. All right, well, honestly, that's going to be it for today. I've got tons of carpenter bees just buzzing around out here like crazy, about to drill holes in all of my wood. But anyway, I'm going to go back inside and do some more work. It's getting to be a little bit busier of a day than I thought it was going to be as far as for work. So we'll sign off here, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see. All right, bye.